institutions?
Well, they tend to develop a characteristic syndrome which is characterized by apathy, lack of initiative, failure to formulate plans for the future, dependency, irritability, sometimes disproportionate emotions. Sometimes they're cross when there's no reason. Sometimes they tend to fail to resent things which you or I would become quite upset about. And this response of lack of initiative is best considered as an illness, institutional neurosis, rather than a process. And although we don't know the cause, the contributory factors seem to be a loss of contact with the outside world. They're no longer in the swim of society in general. Idleness, which is enforced. People need work. It's part of a necessity of life. Most of us do, or we tend to deteriorate in our personalities and otherwise. The bossiness of staff, and this doesn't mean that I'm anti-authority, because one must have authority to run an institution, but the bossiness, the personal use of authority for the individual's own pleasure and delectation, rather than the necessary use in order to keep an organisation going. The loss of personal friends and events, situations, that is, the individual doesn't have much say in with whom he mixes or what he does. The environment of the institution, by which I mean the walls around you, the decorations, the interior decorations, and so forth, communicates to you whether you matter as a person to the authorities or whether you don't matter. It determines whether you are a nobody or whether you're regarded as a somebody.
A prison where an attempt is made to lessen the effects of institutionalisation is Grendon Underwood in Buckinghamshire. When a man comes here, from the moment of his arrival, he finds it very different from other prisons.
A new reception from Liverpool, Mr. Sanders. We put him through the normal routine, please. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Evans.
Ron. And this is Barney, Frank and John. It's the reception committee, and they'll fill you in what goes on here.
We do our own reception run, mainly so that anything you've been told about Grendon before you came, we can put you straight on, and to tell you something about the principles behind the way we live here. If you regard the prison you've left as being a rubbish bin, and Grendon has been a salvage depot, that's a wee bit nearer to the truth. You've been in Liverpool, and you've seen the punch-ups all over the landings. Well, we like to prevent this, and we find that if we talk it out, it usually ends up with the same result as if there's been a punch-up. Because if you punch a man, and you're in a fight with him, invariably half an hour later you're his best friend. And we managed to achieve the same effect just by talking it out.
Permissiveness with a purpose, for this is a psychiatric prison, the only one in the country. The need for a place such as this was officially accepted almost 40 years ago, yet it took until the early 1960s for it to be built. Does it work? It's too soon yet, they say, to tell. But anyway, Grendon contains only 150 inmates, 0.5% of the total number of men in prison, and there are no official plans to extend even this small experiment. Work is not important here. The main occupation is group therapy, the talking out of problems. Men are encouraged to express themselves, in their hobbies, in painting, in any constructive way they choose. 3 have formed a pop group. They've written and composed one of the few English prison songs.
Lonely man, what can you do? Ah, the lonely man, the lonely man, the lonely man. Seagulls crying from the cliff above, they know my misery. They have seen me walk